I've been trying to plan this trip, so I had to get that phone call. But another thing too about the healing and stuff. So one thing is I keep talking to all these different people of the stuff that they're going through, and I think it's really exciting because I'm excited about healing for people because I did it, and it's just the best thing. It just changes your whole life to heal your wounds, and it's super exciting. Life can be great, and so I love to participate in people's healings and help them see things in a different perspective, you know. And so, before, when I was saying I'm just going to talk about some of the different things without talking about people personally, because I think a lot of us are all going through such similar things. And, especially in relationships and stuff like that. And that's why, I try and say it from both sides, because we have both sides in every relationship. There's always the good guy and the bad guy, and you can change it, throughout your relationships and different interactions and stuff. But that is what the dynamic is based on. There's got to be a winner and a loser. We haven't come to that idea yet of, there doesn't have to be a winner or a loser. I could just accept you and you could just accept me. And then, it's kind of like, let's just call it a draw. It's just opinion, And the more that we can get kind of into those areas of our minds, and it is a reprogramming, because we have been programmed a certain way, and it is a complete changeover. And we haven't just been programmed by the TV and this societal norms. Oh, dang it. The societal norms, I gotta plug in my phone, that we've all been restricted by, the rules and who are the rule makers and all that. So, hold on a sec. Okay. So, anyways, so the more that you cannot feel like, that you need to follow somebody else's rules, you need to question, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Who am I doing this for? What is the purpose of this? Like, question things more. Don't just be on autopilot, just living life, and then somebody does something and you blow up, and then you just go back on your little merry road of, I'm not going to deal with life. Because when you do deal with it, it is, I can't say, it's easy. It's not easy. It will be a painful time. But once you do it, you feel so much better. It just takes, it's like relieving all the baggage off of your back. And because the other way we're programmed is by how, the world is right now, and how we have all kind of interacted with each other, like the rules and stuff we've even put on each other, because we do that too. It's not just the TV, because the TV wasn't always around, and I'm not sure of all the different ways, that things have been controlled. But, before TV, there was still a lot of societal norms and restrictions and stuff, like, a gay person would have so much shame, they would never be able to live their life. That would have been a shameful thing. People were killed and stuff. People that were different colors or different cultures or different nationalities and stuff, they would be killed. Like, there was a lot of fear of people who were different and stuff. And that has a lot to do with, people stayed in their own little groups, even when they came over to this country to, to settle it, because of all of the abundance, all of the stuff, the land they were giving to people who were willing to farm it, and all of the people who just wanted to new start in the world. They came over here, and they went into their own little groups, like the Dutch people stayed together, the Italians stayed together, everybody went and found their little groups. And, when you think about that, because there would be a good and a bad to all things, and it's all by our perspective of where we fall in that spectrum. But a good thing about it is to be around people that you identify with, that you can speak openly in your own language, that you have the same kind of values and traditions. So, that's all fine and dandy. A bad part is when they decide to cut others off. Theirs way is the only way. Can't accept anybody else's way because they're wrong and I'm right. This is the only way to do it. The more that we can open up is like, oh yeah, well, we like to do it this way. How do you guys like to do it? And how do you guys like to do it? And we start learning from each other. Then there's not a problem with us staying with our own, groups. Because most people, that's how they want to do it. It's the government who is trying to corral us all, like herd us into these corrals. And then they put on their commercials and stuff to make us think we should all be fine with this. We should all, if you're not doing this, then you're a bad person. You're a racist. You're this, you're that. All of this stuff that they're trying to, tell us the rules. Only make it think that it's our idea, because they're hitting us in a certain way because they know how our brain works. And so they are very sneaky about how they give us information. And so if we did go back to that kind of more, tribes where people are with their own kind of group, people who, like I said, who you have the same traditions, more similar in your values, what's important to you, like what do you want to celebrate? When do you want to have your moments of silence? Like they all kind of have the same things that they see when you're from the same place. Like when you've grown up in them, people have different languages, and this bullshit about people can't speak their own language to, like people on a bus who are sitting there talking to their grandma and talking in her language, and then they're getting attacked for it. It's like, people, come on. Where's your integrity? It has nothing to do with them. It's like, why are you butting into their business? It's nothing to do with you. Where people have come up with, but they're doing that on purpose. I mean, right now they have it where they want you to start turning in people that you think are extreme. Oh God, Nazi bullshit that they're doing. And that people don't even, but it's that no awareness. It's keep them so distracted, keep them so off-settled that they don't think about it. It's like turn the volume up on the frequency, so then their brain is so rattled they can't think. And, fill them with poisons, make them sick, so they're focusing on their inner pain and stuff like that. It's very sneaky what they're doing. And but a lot of these things, these structured ways that they have that we've participated in, we aren't just the victim. We've participated. People built up their business and sold it out to corporations. They they gave them the power. They didn't just come in and take us over. We were handing them our power all the time, paying their taxes, doing all the stuff that they said. We participated. So, but it's waking up to that participation. It's waking up to your role in your own life. And it's waking up and having an awareness about what is going on around you. And, is way more than what you think, So, and if you're going around in a hypnotic state, you are the zombie. You are being tricked. You are being manipulated. You are being used. You know, most of these people who are very hypnotized right now are also the worker bees. They're, you know, they're very go to work, survive, go home. You know, I gotta get this done. I gotta get that done. You know, they're very on they're on their schedule, just focused on what they gotta get done. And, you know, that's the ideal person for them. They don't want any, that's what they panicked about, is any of us to start noticing what the fuck is going on. That was their worst nightmare, and it's so exciting because it's happening. Their worst nightmare is happening as our dreams come true. As we head to heaven on earth and abundance and love and freedom and travel and actually getting to experience this planet, then they all are losing their fortunes to us. It's super exciting. But, you know, I think that we are going to go more into these smaller communities, you know, these more, and it won't just be from, you know, where people are from, because there will be people married, you know, it won't be like that, but it will definitely be communities that are more in alignment, you know, with their values and what's important and how they want to design their communities. People are going to get a lot more involved, a lot more participating in how they want their world to run. And, you know, education is going to be completely different. We're losing the government complex of education, indoctrination, programming centers, and we're going to go into real education. But education is, I mean, like when I was talking to my mom, when I was a kid, you know, I started trying to learn to sew. I would design my own clothes and stuff like that. I would go get patterns and I'd cut them and change the clothes and stuff. And I was like, you know, for me, for my life, if we would have been on that kind of structure in our communities still, it would have been more of like, you know, well, I'm going to find a seamstress and, you know, you can go and learn by her. Hopefully somebody from a different place, possibly learn their language, learn more about their culture, learn a skill that I would have to be able to go out into the world and to take care of myself, that people would need, that I could trade and I could, you know, make money off of, but I can also barter with my skills. So, you know, I think that is more like how things are going to go. People are going to recognize, like, you know, oh, this kid really likes math, you know, and it's going to make a difference because we're not going to have the same kind of businesses. So, you know, somebody who's good at math may go into, you know, something with farms, not something with like the IRS. So, because those things are all going to be gone. But we're going to come up with new ways of doing things. So there will be communities that, you know, do things different than other communities. And they'll have leaders that they put in place that they're on top of. And our leaders should be civil servant. It should be a not paid position. It should be a volunteer position. And it should be one that you are only able to hold a short amount of time, and that every time that it has a changeover, that we have real audits. Like we go in, like maybe that's what these people could work once every 2 years and make all their money, but go in and actually look, like, was there anything shady? You know, like we got to be on top of each other, call each other out. We can't get back in this system of corruption and greed where somebody thinks that out of their own weird neediness that they need to hoard everything from everyone else and let everyone die around them. How does that make sense? But you know, if you're a vampire, I guess that makes sense, you know. Kill off the food source. I mean, that's all we were to them, is, you know, food. That's where we would have all ended up being. So, anyways, I do believe that we are going to go more into these kind of smaller communities that are more watched over by each other. You know, we're going to be more involved with our lives, and but We won't need to go out and work because we won't need to pay all this stuff that they used to make us pay to survive. Instead, we will be able to go out and explore the world with our children, explore the world with different people and stuff. And that is where they will get their education, going someplace, learning from the people who are there. You know, that's where we will get what we need to know. You don't, the stuff that they made us waste time on. I mean, there's fucking calculators. I've never in my life needed to do calculus or geometry or any of that stuff. None of it. But, you know, there's been plenty of times when I needed to know how to cook and sew. And they took that out of our education system and filled it with, God, I don't even know, the fake history. One thing too, like when I went to school, I swear the emphasis on cursive writing was so extreme. They would make us practice for hours. Oh, and they wanted the perfect slant. Oh my gosh, it was so, you know, you had to have this certain kind of writing. It was just pushed hard, like really hard when I went to school. And now recently no, we're not even having cursive anymore. It's just printing. It's like, well, so are the people in the future even going to be able to read what the people in the past wrote? Like, what? How does this make sense? But you know, like that's the beauty of being old. Is like, yeah, I've seen that. I know what's going on, and like I just saw somebody. It was some TikTok on education. Like it was some really funny ones today. But there's two young girls, and one was 35 and one was 23, and they put on the sound of when, you know, in the olden days when we would turn on the computer when it was plugged into our phone line and it had all those noises of starting. They did a recording of that, and of course the one girl knew what it was, the other girl had no clue. She didn't even know what it was. You know, it is important to have the storytellers. It is important to have somebody who is documenting things, what's going on in our world. And we do need those people out there so that we can pass it on. So our grandkids can learn from our knowledge that we have. So we don't have this lost knowledge that we are experiencing right now. So, you know, we need this communication, but we also need to not fear one another. We need to be able to go into each other's communities and don't go there to change each other, to go in there to learn from one another, to expose ourselves and our children to other ways of doing things, because that's what expands us. That's what gives us more vision. We don't want to make a narrow vision. We don't want to make everything smaller and controlled and ruled, and we all have to fit into this little cookie cutter. No, we want it expansive. We want everybody to be themselves and be accepted and appreciated, and just, you know, and we want to just, any soul that's out there that's having experience, except for murder. I'm not saying let's all like, I am saying there's a reason why it happens with souls. Yeah. And a lot of souls get caught in this from life to life to life. They go back and forth killing each other, you know. I don't know that any of us will ever fully understand murder, you know, on it's a shitty thing. But anyways, you know, we're coming out of those times where it's not to say there will never be murder, but as far as I understand, there will not be death unless you want to die, unless you're tired of playing the part you're playing and you're ready for a new one somewhere else. That, you know, it's all played out. You've done all you wanted to do. So you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Otherwise, the technology can keep your body alive. From what I understand, you know, you can stay alive. So I don't know. We'll see. I know the technology is really advanced. I know that when we move out of this whole thing and the Great Awakening completely, you know, takes over, you know, I really, to me, feel like we're all focused on the same dream. You know, we're making this stuff be, but it's our focus. It's our, how we're focusing. That's how we create this matter and stuff, and how we have a three-dimensional experience. And, you know, when we take more control of our consciousness and we're able to have other experiences and make experiences what we want, but it's also not going to be the same thing, but it could completely feel the same. You know what I mean? Because in a dream, you don't have a body, right? But you can still feel things. You know, you can have something happen and like a loud noise outside, but you'll feel something hit you on the leg at the same time. So there's still some kind of our conscious connection, but there is something with our like our consciousness being able to go in a dream. Like a dream is not just a picture in our heads. It's our consciousness going into that place, having that experience. So I really see things as being a lot different in the future. And there's something with this medical or too, the med beds, all of this stuff, all the money, our voting, all of everything that we need to be safe, legal, or whatever, is all going to be quantum. So our medical is going to be a quantum system. And so, and it all has to do with your vibration and stuff. And that's why I said it won't be like a system where, you know, like you could go out and I'm going to go do heroin and drink a case of whiskey or whatever every weekend and then go into the bed and heal myself. That won't be how it works. It will work on your own high vibration, your own resonance. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to step in this thing and your body's going to heal. This is your connection to your own healing, your own body. That's why a lot of people are going to have to be learning. And that's why I'm constantly talking about it. This mind, body, soul connection and really tuning into yourself, listening to your body and taking your own health in your own hands and actually thinking like, you know, like, oh, I'm overweight. I really got to, you know, figure this out. Like, how can I get to my optimum, you know, where I'm healthy and feeling good about myself and I can go out and run in an emergency. You know, I mean, how many people right now could not run in an emergency? I think that you as a human being should be able to run in an emergency, you know? So anyways, you know, there is, I think I really skipped around a lot on this. I know I hit a lot of, you know, points, but I don't know if I went and completed them. That's the brain injury in me. So anyways, I'll probably talk about the same thing tomorrow. Anyways, so you can catch me tomorrow and I'll probably just repeat it all. The joy of a brain injury. Okay, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.